All right. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Joni Girardi. I'm DataSelf's founder and CEO. Today we'll talk about DataSelf Analytics for Acumatica. There's some great news to cover. Before I jump into that part, if you're seeing my screen, is it in the middle of the presentation? You can click this button to minimize my screen, or you can just move around to a different monitor, perhaps. I like to put the webcam on. You have an accent. I'm originally from Brazil, so usually it's a way to, as I call it, a accent reduction technique. If you see me, hopefully you can understand me better. Anyhow, let's get going. First of all, I've been in this industry, BI for mid-market, for about 20 years. With DataSelf for 15 years. We launched DataSelf for Acumatica about a year and a half ago, but we have a lot of things going on, a lot of clients already, and I'm excited to share some news with you. So first of all, as I mentioned, I've been in this industry for about 15 years, and one of the most exciting things that I am about this industry is for a long time, I've been promoting analytics, enterprise analytics for mid-sized companies. And now I'm seeing a lot of decision makers really asking for it. They want to see the data, they want to get insights from it. The data is there, is right there in their ERP system, in their Acumatica, for instance, but it's not easy to get it out. Decision makers are finally, requesting ways to have timely and informed make timely informed decisions, and we're having a blast. We're having fun. We're having a lot of companies, and we really have a mature, well thought out, and very scalable BI platform. So it's exciting to be in the BI world right now because of this whole momentum. I'm going to just talk about a couple of clients we have. The first one is Technicore. They are in the services business. And they had a legacy ERP system, and they moved to Acumatica. And one of the main concerns that Peter had when they moved to Acumatica was to be sure that the data from the legacy system would be combined with Acumatica. So when he was doing project accounting analysis, looking at the projects that they have, in the old ERP and Acumatica would be all together for reporting. They could see by client, by project manager, by project per se, the expenses, the revenues, the gross profit, the budget, all in a single platform. And DataSelf did that, combine historical frozen data with the live data from Acumatica. He can see financials, P&L, balance sheet, receivables, everything like he never changed the accounting system. So very, very good story. The next client, which is a big one for us, very important one for us, is Acumatica, the company that builds the Acumatica ERP system. Since last December, they start to use DataSelf as their in-house data warehousing and BI platform. And Nigel, the CFO, he's been using extensively this platform as well as his team to do analysis, from financials, from sales, from CRM. And Acumatica is a highly focused, customer-driven organization, and they heavily rely on data to make better decisions, to better support their resellers and their customers. So very great to have Acumatica heavily using DataSelf internally as part of their BI tools. Now, what is DataSelf at the end of the day? Well, pretty much, we pull data from Acumatica. And if you go with the whole DataSelf Enterprise, you can also pull data from other data sources. You might have many ERP systems. You might have different CRM systems like Salesforce.com, or you might have payroll outside of Acumatica. Google Analytics, social media, Excel sheet, doesn't matter the data sources. We pull the data into our cloud framework. We also can be on premises, but most of our clients go with the cloud framework. And for the data geeks out there, we use these tools to do our magic. We connect them together. We make the whole data automatic refresh simple, fast, reliable. So when decision makers, when users go to access the reports and dashboards inside of Acumatica or outside of Acumatica, in mobile devices, by email, PDF, and Excel, no matter what, it's easy, it's reliable. They can slice and dice their data. They can export to PDF, to Excel. It's very easy to change, to create new reports from scratch. So at the end of the day, that's how the system works. Pulls data from the source systems, optimizes for reporting, and delivers in a way that users can easily do it. It's a platform that is great for data geeks. If you're an IT person, if you're a consultant, if you're the company owner, if you're the salesperson from finance, no matter what your role is, we have mature, reliable technology to help you get the job done when it comes to reports and analytics. I'm going to jump into the presentation. I'm going to cover 3 use cases that are very popular among our clients. Is how C-level people use DataSelf, you know, company owner, CFO, CEO, people of that caliber. How salespeople use DataSelf for better understanding of their sales, and also how accounting use DataSelf for their tasks. So let's take a look at the product. So right now I'm going to show an example where I'm going to log into Acumatica to pull some reports inside of Acumatica. And then I'll show you some examples outside of Acumatica to cover both kind of users. So I'm going to log in right now. I'm going to play the scenario of being, let's say, the company owner of this Acumatica instance or tenant. Typically, decision makers, when they log to their systems, they want to see the main key performance indicators that they care. Some people, they want to see a lot of KPIs, like this page is kind of busy showing many metrics. Some people want to see only a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No matter what, DataSelf has this framework where you can easily customize dashboards for C-level people. This is an example of a fairly sophisticated dashboard looking across the whole organization. I'm looking at cash flow projection, opportunities, open opportunities. This can come from Acumatica CRM, can come from Salesforce.com or some other CRM system. Aging, revenues, Google Analytics data, financial metrics that can come from Acumatica, Excel sheets, and other systems. Is all together. No matter what the data is put together so C-level people can see what's going on. If everything is humming, no problem, they can go about their day. But if something is too good or too bad, typically decision makers want to drill down into more details, make a decision and take an action. Let me show an example. Right now I see here that I have this red bar showing inventory assets is above a certain threshold. What about it? When I click the red bar, this dashboard will go into a different tab that shows more details at that particular metric. In this example, again, this is highly customized, is a dashboard showing top 10 products by cost on hand today. And if it's a red bar, that particular item, I have too many on hand. And here comes the aha moment in this example. I see my West warehouse has too many red bars. Aha. Now, typically, once I figure what the problem is, I might want to drill down further, or maybe I want to call someone or email. In this example, if I click the West label, I can call the warehouse manager, or I can email the person right from the dashboard. So you don't need to know the person's phone number, email. It will automatically have this information built into the dashboard. Another example to show that is important to give this kind of, easy perspective, get the aha moment, and then take an action. Let's say I want to take a look at in more detail in my cash flow projection. I click on this dashboard, on this widget in the main dashboard. It goes into this other one where I have a bigger view of my cash flow. And now I see receivables, money coming in for the next 60 days, money going out in payroll, in payables, in the money that I have in the bank today. And when I put all of these ups and downs in my cash flow for the next, this case 60 days, I have the cash flow projection. And as long as the most negative amount doesn't cross my line of credit, I do not have a cash flow issue. Now, if you would like to see charts, you might love this approach. But if you like to see numbers by the penny, you also have them right here on the right, all the receivables and payables information, starting on today in my sample database, which is September 1st, and I see how the projections are accumulating. And then we can have flags. Like in this example, there's a red amount. What about this red amount? Well, this customer is disputing this payment. How the system knows? Well, in this example, someone in the AR has to flag that this invoice has been disputed. Once this is flagged, let's say in Acumatica, the report is going to show to the C-level person, and they see here, oh, as the CEO, for instance, should I worry about this transaction? Do I need to get involved? Can I leave my team to take care of it? Well, what if this payment doesn't come? Will it affect my cash flow projection heavily? I don't know. I can click here and do a what if scenario. I want to click on this amount and say exclude. What if the payment doesn't come? When I exclude, in this example, it cross line of credit. This is going to cause me headaches. So perhaps because it's a big payment, it's going to cause me headaches. I want to get involved. Maybe I want to call the customer. This example, again, I could click on this information. I could open the invoice, this invoice in Acumatica just by clicking Open Doc, and I could call the customer right off the bat. And here's the person's phone number and email and everything else. Again, shortcutting the time from an aha moment to take an action. This is something we have built into DataSelf functionality to facilitate, and we can train you so you can easily customize the solution to do things like this for whatever dashboard or report that you build in DataSelf. So this is a kind of example of the C-level kind of dashboard. This particular one that I'm showing is available in the DataSelf Enterprise version that allows to bring data from any data source. Now, we also have the same kind of 360-degree view using what we call the DataSelf Lite version. The DataSelf Lite version is very inexpensive. I'll be talking about pricing shortly. Very inexpensive, very easy to deploy, and primarily it has the same engine. It's easy, it's empowering, and out of the box comes with what I'm going to be showing you right now. So most of my presentation at this point forward is showing DataSelf Light. So this is the example of the out-of-the-box 360-degree view dashboard with DataSelf Light. It has cash flow projection, it has receivables information, open sales order, and sales. It also includes AP aging. So we have AR aging, AP aging, sales, open sales order, and cash flow projection. Those 5 use cases are available out of the box pretty much in a matter of hours once it's being deployed. Now, how can I use this information? Again, if I'm the C-level person, when I log to Acumatica, or maybe I open outside of Acumatica in my mobile device, or maybe this is going to be sending to, let's say, to a board member, when they see these things and they say, hey, what about cash flow? I see there's a big drop in my cash flow right here. I can click on this cash flow projection widget. It goes into the bigger view where I can see things in more detail. And I see that there's this big drop in October 19. I mean, by the way, today my sample database is October 8th right here. And I see in October 19, a big drop in, a big payment. What about it? I can click on this bar. It will automatically filter on the right side and show me what my payments are in that particular day. And I can see the total by vendor. Now, in this example, I have about $3.36 million to pay in that day. And I look at these details and I realize, hey, this vendor here actually is pretty late in their deliverables. We're not going to pay that invoice in that day because they're late. So I'm going to exclude this payment. So that payment that before was $3.3 million in the 19th, now went down to about $1 million. So it's much lower or much less problematic. The point is, again, what is scenarios that decision makers or people who are looking at cash flow projection can easily interact with the data, see all the details, and act on that information. Back to the main tab. Let's say that now that I kind of adjusted my cash flow projection. What about my aging? Wow, look at this. Right here I have the totals. So there's almost $4 million worth of on-time aging. The yellow section means 1 to 30 days late. There's about $700,000 in late invoices. And the other colors represent even older past due invoices. When I see at the bottom, I have the customer information. And for every customer, I have the total. And you're also using the same color standard or legend as in the top. And I see that this customer here has a lot of old invoices. What about this customer? Let me just pick this particular customer here and see if I have any other touch point with this customer. When I chose this customer, it automatically filtered my open sales order section, showing me that today I'm supposed to ship almost $200,000 worth of products to this customer. And in last period, I sold almost, I sold about $200,000 worth of sales. Now, if I have all of these late invoices, will this order get out of the door? Maybe not. If I'm a salesperson, this is also part of the Salesperson Dashboard. If I'm a salesperson, I want to be sure to fix the problem before it's too late. So I want to be proactive to call the customer, hey, what's going on with this invoice? Are you going to be paying it? Do you have a check number so I can unlock in Acumatica and allow the shipping people to ship the product out of the door? You don't want to wait tomorrow to get a call from the client. Did you ship the product? And you check, oops, sorry, no, because you have a late invoices. So the idea with DataSelf is creating these views that people can easily check things to avoid the issues, focus on helping, making clients successful, happier, and moving forward. So these dashboards are highly interactive in this sense. And what if I select, let's say, these top customers, the top 3 customers by shipment today, by open sales order? When I select them, automatically, it shows me if I have open orders. So right now, this is the only one with late invoices. Everyone else is pretty much good. And how the sales for these customers are prior period and this period. Very interactive, very easy to see these big trends. Now, this dashboard here, again, is for C-level people. So we don't go into too many details, but we allow them to slice and dice these reports heavily. Receivables is sometimes a topic that many decision makers want to see what's going on. So this report here, this dashboard, is available for C-level people, is available for salespeople, is available for the accounting people. And again, you can easily make it available to anyone in the organization that you want to make it available, or block it from people to have access to it. But the idea is easy. I can see the total balance. I can see the balance by due date. I see where the money is going to come from every state. The size of the bubble is how much money is coming from every state. In the color of the slices is the same color schema as here or as shown here. This is a distribution of amount by the due date. This is by salesperson, by the actual document, and by the customer. And all the details are right here. Very easy to have a big picture of how open the receivables are out there. And again, if you select things, let's say, hey, what's going on with my old invoices? Where are they? Who are these customers? I just select those 3 buckets, and automatically the whole dashboard will change to show where the money is coming from, salespeople that have those old invoices, the documents per se, the customer, and the details. Very interactive. Or let's say, if I only want to focus on the current and barely past due date invoices, so just those 2, and want to see, let's say, my top 3 customers, what's going on with them, As I select, right now, I only focus on those 2 buckets, only for these 3 customers. This is the money coming from these states, distribution by due date, the invoices, salespeople, and documents. Very interactive. Everything that I'm showing here on the web browser can also be done with mobile devices. How would this look on a mobile device? Well, I can simulate by clicking this button. And right now, it shows me how this dashboard would show on a smartphone. So I have right now, and I actually, let me just unselect this filter here. So I see the whole thing, not only those 2 buckets. Let me go back again to the smartphone view. And right there, I have my smartphone, the total by buckets, by location. And if I scroll down, I see by salesperson, by customer, by document, by due date, and all the details. And on the phone, if I touch, these data points, it will slice and dice just like I did on the web browser. So the kind of the same user experience, highly interactive also in smartphones and tablets. All right, so this is the example, the use case for C-level people. Now let me change and go to the Salesperson Dashboard. The Salesperson Dashboard in the Lite, DataSelf Lite version is like the same concept, is a 360-degree view of salespeople. In the Lite version right now is looking at open sales orders, sales, and receivables. So we take these 3 data sources from Acumatica, and we allow salespeople to easily interact with the data. This particular landing page is fairly similar to the 360-degree view that I was showing before. One thing that I didn't show before was how to manage, goals. Like in this example, if my goal for September was $3 million, then in this case, I actually sold more, so it was blue because I met my goal. If my goal, on the other hand, was, let's say, $5 million instead of 3, then I didn't meet the goal by far, then it becomes red, way beyond what my goal was. So easy ways also to monitor goals versus actuals for salespeople built into the DataSelf Lite framework. Now let me show the second tab, which is very popular among salespeople that sell to customers, recurring customers and recurring products. Right here, what I have is year-over-year sales analysis. So I have the total for this year, the total for last year, the variance and the variance percentage. And right now I'm looking at, through the period 9. So I'm looking, from period 1 through period 9. It's very easy. Hey, I want to sweep through period 11. Press apply. Now the whole dashboard will change to show through period 11. In my sample database, actually, I'm still going through October. So this would not be a good comparison on a year-to-date basis. Or maybe if I want to compare just, hey, I want to see how I did in the 3rd quarter. Last year versus this year. I just pick and choose. And now I see for the 3 months, the darker blue is this year, lighter is last year. And I can see by customer, the sales last year, this year, the variance, by product, and also from a geography standpoint. Now let me show some interesting ways to interact with this data. What if you're trying to find growth or decline? I want to see my top customers. I just sort in a descending order by variance. These are the customers growing the most on a year-to-date basis through the period 9. What about customers declining the most? Maybe there's something wrong with some of them. You just sort it again, and now I'm seeing the top customer by sales decline since last year to date. What's going on with them? What products are driving the decline? Well, maybe let's just pick the top 2. When I pick those top 2, it changes the whole dashboard to only focus on those top 2 customers. The totals, the shipments, the sales trends, and the products. And I want to see which products are declining the most since last year. I can also sort descending. The first time that I click, I see which products are growing the most for these 2 customers since last year to date. I sort again, click again, and now I'm seeing which products are driving the biggest decline. So very interactive, very easy for salespeople to see who's growing, who's declining, who's not buying, who's buying. A single dashboard provides a lot of insights. And if you just watch a demo like this and you point and click, that's a training. A lot of these modifications is just watching a presentation like this, very straightforward. Now, we also have this sales slicer. So the sales slicer, we have a patent pending, is a very powerful yet very easy to use ad hoc tool. I've been in this industry for about, again, 20 years, and I have not seen any other BI tool providing this functionality. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to train you in how to create a lot of reports and dashboards from scratch just by watching the slicer, how it works. So let me show the mechanics. Right now, I'm showing sales data. It's sales transaction from Acumatica. I'm looking sales in two periods, period 7 and 8. And right now I'm seeing sales by salesperson. Very simple report. What if I want to see more periods? I come here, I can select more years. In this case, I'm only going to select one more period, period 6. Press apply. So now the report shows sales by salesperson in those 3 periods in the total. Pretty simple. But hey, I want to see sales by something else, like by state, by country, by account, by sub-account, whatever it is. Pretty much you pick this slicer and you choose a field from it. These fields right here, we have 15 fields available out of the box. It's easy for you to modify, to remove, or to add new parameters. The beauty is, once this field has been customized to your user-specific needs, as a user, I just pick, let's say, state, and that's it. Now this report is showing sales by state for those 3 months. Cool. What if I want to drill down and see sales by state by something else, like by salesperson? I go to the second slicer. I pick what I want to see. I want to see, in this case, salesperson. And now I just expand the column by clicking the plus signal. And now the report shows by state, by salesperson, sales in those 3 months. That easy. Now look at this. I have null for sales for the state. What is null about? In my example, null is multi-company transactions that I don't care. So I can quickly come to the filters on the right. I go to the state filter and I say, I do not need to see nulls because they do not affect my commission. I press apply, and now null is gone. Cool, very easy to filter. But I want to drill down further. I want to see sales by state, by salesperson, by customer. Sure, go here, choose customer, and then expand the column with the plus signal like I did before, and there it is. I want to see by to the product level. No problem. I just pick the next field and expand the column, and there it is. By state, by salesperson, by customer, by product, sales those 3 months. What if I want to see a different measure? Gross profit, quantity shipped, growth, decline, you name it. You come to this slicer and you pick a different measure. Let's say I want to see also quantity sold. I can pick any measure or all the measures for that matter. You press apply, and that's it. Congratulations. In the last 3 minutes, you learned how to use the DataSelf slicer. It's that easy. And the good news is there are about 15 entries here, 15 here, 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 and here. If you multiply 15 times 15 times 15 and so forth, there are more than 5 million ways to slice and dice your data by using the DataSelf slicer. It's very powerful. It's incredibly simple. And we want you and your users to run with it to find answers to their questions without calling consultants. And that's the idea of the DataSelf slicer, is empowering smart, data-hungry people so they can find answers without waiting for someone else. and you've been certified in using it, and now you can just run with it. It's very easy. All right, now, many people, when they're looking at reports and dashboards in DataSelf, they want to get the information out of it. They want to export into PDF. They want to export into Excel and whatnot. How easy is to do that? Overall, you just have to click the download button, and then you can choose to download as an image. You can download as a PDF. You can download into PowerPoint, or you can download as an Excel. And then you get the data in Excel if you want to do some further manipulation. Many people love Excel, and the challenge typically is to get data correctly into Excel. So DataSelf is also a way to help these people find the data easily and then export to Excel to do whatever they want to do in Excel. Some people want to see the underlying data. I actually want to see the details behind the certain transactions, all the details in Acumatica. How can I do it? You click on the data point, like in this example. And it should be quick. But when you click on a data point, typically there's a little pop-up that shows right there, that shows this little icon, which is View Data. When I click View Data, it opens this other page that will give me full access to all the data in all details. So here you're gonna see invoice number, line number, everything that is in the transaction will be available. You can download this data and put it into Excel or other places to see further manipulation. So very straightforward also to get into the underlying data behind transactions. Finally, also here, when you look in these reports, they also are connected to Acumatica. So if you see something that is underscored, like this case, the customer, if you click on the customer, you can actually open the customer. This would open Acumatica on the customer page for this particular customer. And if you click Open Document, it will open the invoice or the purchase order or whatever you're looking at straight into Acumatica. So that kind of functionality available in, let's say, in generic inquiries is also available in DataSelf. From a report or dashboard, you just click and it will automatically open the page in Acumatica for that particular data point. Also very empowering. I also want to show you about natural language query. Natural language query is a way for users to ask questions in natural language and in plain English, and the tool will give the answer. Let me show an example. Right now, I'm connected to my sales transactions, you know, SA sales. I'm going to say sales by salesperson. I just typed sales by salesperson. The tool tells me, do you want to see sum of sales by salesperson? Yes, I want to see the sum. I don't want to see the minimum, the max. I want to see the sum. I click here to confirm, and now the tool will show me sales by salesperson. Beautiful. Now in real life, when I look at the data in detail, hey, it doesn't make sense that my home account is $19 million. Oh, it's because I want to see only in 2019. Because right now we're showing the whole data set. Do you want to see data only in doc date in 2019? Yes, that's what I want to see. I confirm, and now it filters and shows me the total sales actually for home account is $9 million. Oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, now we're looking at the right information. But I want to break it down by month to see what is going on month's trends. I go here and say by month. The tool will try to interpret. It's going to say, do you want to see by doc dates month, which is the invoice date month? Yes. I click on it, and now it changes. It shows for every salesperson. It's going to have a line and showing how I'm doing in 2019 by month. Beautiful. Maybe I want to see a different chart type. I just pick, let's say, bar chart, and now the report shows bar chart. So natural language is very empowering. It uses plain English. For many organizations and for many people, this is amazingly empowering, even more empowering than the slicer. True. But for some other people that they have a hard time asking the questions and understanding those options, sometimes the slicer is better. So overall, we provide these different methods to guarantee that every individual, every person in the organization will go through these options and pick the one that will allow them to be more self-sufficient, make better, more informed decisions anytime, anywhere, to help your business move forward. And that's pretty much what we do, is to empower decision makers to have easy access to the data anytime and anywhere. All right, I'm going to show the last example of how to do ad hoc analysis. Everything that I showed you so far in this presentation is using what we call a viewer user. A viewer user is typically a person that needs zero training or a few minutes of training, and maybe sometimes, maybe an hour or two of training just to know the basics of navigation that I showed you. But it's pretty much point and click. If you point and click, you can figure it out. Some people don't point and click, they're scared, so you got to show them a little bit, but it's very easy and you cannot break the system. What I'm going to show you next is how to log into the different framework here. And I'm going to log in with my power user license. And I'm going to go to the demo environment. And I'm going to show actually a license or a functionality that is only available for what we call publishers. I'm sorry, explorers. Explorers are users who are typically data hungry and a little bit of data geek. You do not need to be a data geek, but you have to have a little bit of data geek in your blood, because you need to know how to edit reports and you can create things from scratch. In this example, I'm accessing as an explorer my available data sources. So I have payables, receivables, and right now I'm looking at DataSelf Enterprise with all data sources. And I'm going to find a SA revenues data source. I'm going to click a new workbook. A new workbook is a completely new report from scratch. I have a blank sheet and I want to build something new for sales. This again is not for everyone. You got to be an Explorer user. And here you have actually dimensions and measures. And if you know how to drag and drop, you can build a lot of reports, way more than 5 million. It's almost unlimited for sales and for any other data source. So let me show an example. I want to quickly build a dashboard having 3 sections: sales by month, by customer, sales by customer this month. So sales by customer this month, and I want to show sales and gross profit trends over time, and sales by ship to state. Everything I'll put in a dashboard. Let's do it. First report, sales by customer. So I go here, I find customer, drag to my report. They're all my customers. I want to see sales. I drag to my report. So right now, total sales by customer. Who's my top customer? I can just sort descending to see top customers at the top of the list. All right. I want to see this month. So let me take invoice date and drag and drop into my columns. And by default, it will show sales by year. I want to expand year and go to the quarter level. And I can expand the quarter to go to the month level. So now I'm seeing sales by customer by month, and I have all my company histories, a lot of data. I only want to see December, this month, actually, not December, this month. I can take invoice date, put in my filters. And right now, I'll have a filter on the right that I can pick the beginning or the end date, any period. Or I can choose what is called the relative filters. That means something related to today. And I can pick years, quarters, months, and days, and weeks. Let me choose month. So right now I'm looking at this report, total sales in December. And if later I want to change for last month, there it is. Maybe the last 3 months, 2 months. Super easy to change as you're building these things. Let's go back to this month. And let me see sales by customer, by product as well. I go to the product list. I find product description, drag and drop. Again, if you know how to drag and drop, you can build a report. If you know how to move things around, I'm going to put the customer after the product. So now by product, by customer. It's that easy. You just drag and drop, point and click, and you're making the report. Okay, this is the first report. Sales by customer byproduct this month. I also want to build a new section of my dashboard that will show sales and gross profit trends over time. So I'm going to see sales by invoice date. I just double click in those two parameters and show me sales by year. Let me actually go to the date field and choose by month instead. I want to see monthly trends in the whole company history. There it is. And now I want to see gross profit. What's happening with my gross profit? Is it going up or down? I bring gross profit, so it shows gross profit percentage on this top line. And on the bottom, it shows my sales. And in this example, I want to take this out of the way. I want to show as a dual axis kind of approach, meaning my sales would be bars in blue. In this example, gross profit is going to be this red line. Let's make things a little thinner so it looks a little better. There it is. Sales and gross profit, trends over time. And as I can see, my gross profit percentage was kind of, going up and down, and it's being pretty much stable and going a little bit down lately. Is that a problem or not? Something for decision makers to decide. The last section of my dashboard I'm building is I want to see sales by ship to and how big the deals are. So right now I'm going to go to the ship to section. I'm going to choose ship to state. I want to see how big my invoices are, and I want to see sales. I just pick those three fields, and I tell the tool, show me this on a map. And there it is. Now the tool is building a visualization on a map. And I'm going to make it a little bigger. And I want to make the bubbles a little bigger. Bigger bubbles is bigger sales. And the bubbles are sliced by large, medium, and small based on the color of the slice. So in a few minutes, I just built these three different sections. Now I want to put them together on a dashboard. And I want to make this dashboard automatically sized. So if I'm looking at a mobile device, if I'm looking on a big screen, it will automatically fit the size of the screen. And now I just drag and drop my three sheets that I just created into this report, to this dashboard area. I just drag and drop. And that's it. In a few minutes, I built from scratch this dashboard that is highly interactive. If I click save, now I can save this report or this dashboard in the folder, let's say that only salespeople will have access to, and I'll put a name to this dashboard, and that's easy to create and share new reports and dashboards. And once you save it, if you're gonna come here and analyze, hey, I wanna see how I'm doing on the West Coast, I can select this is on the West Coast, and what happens is the whole dashboard changes to show how we're doing in that part of the country. Super easy, super interactive. What I just showed you is using what we call the Explorer user license. Unlike the viewer that typically you need almost no training, the Explorer user license usually takes about 8 hours of training for you to become really, really good at it. And if you go to this training and you learn how to do these things, it goes way beyond drag and drop. There's a lot more things available. But if you go to this training, you can build a lot of reports and dashboards. And there's a lot of resources online. If you search for what you want to do, most likely you're going to find already someone that went to the problem and figure out how to build formulas or how to change the framework to adapt the solution to what you're looking for. Super empowering. All right, I hope you have enjoyed the presentation, the demo section. Now we're gonna go back to the PowerPoint. And let's talk about the DataSelf Lite pricing. We launched DataSelf Lite about a couple of months ago. It is available in the Acumatica price list, so you can order it from Acumatica or you can order it from your Acumatica reseller. The price is $299 per month. It includes one Explorer user, which is the most capable user license that you can do anything that I showed you. It also includes 5 free viewers. Viewers are the things that I showed before I went to the drag and drop kind of functionality. And right now, this is a December promotion. If you order Lite to the end of the month, you get free viewers through July 31st, 2020. For additional user license, Explorer is 40. Let me just fix this. This is wrong. The Explorer is 40 and the Viewer is 20. So that's the price of additional users if you need additional users. Time to deploy DataSelf Lite. Pretty much once you provide the Acumatica URL and credentials, it takes a few hours, typically within 1 day. DataSelf Lite with your data will be up and running. Then typically you and your reseller will be working on a data validation process to be sure that the DataSelf Lite is matching to the penny with all of your Acumatica reports. And then you'll be onboarded with training with those hours of training that we discussed before, so you can become self-sufficient with it. I didn't talk much about DataSelf Enterprise. DataSelf Enterprise it includes a full-fledged data warehouse framework. It has a lot more features than I showed here today. And if you have needs to learn about DataSelf Enterprise, that's typically a one-on-one conversation to understand what you need. Many times you don't need Enterprise, Lite will be sufficient. But if you need Enterprise, we'll talk about it, we'll understand your needs, we'll scope it out, we'll tell the price of the license services, and then you make a decision if you want to move forward or not. We're also offering promotions if you order DataSelf Enterprise through December 31st. So be sure to contact your reseller of DataSelf to discuss your specific needs so we can give you a tailored estimate and proposal. Next steps, please contact your VAR or DataSelf to learn more. In the last page, I'll show my contact information if you want to contact us. And now I'm going to open the Q&A. So if you have questions, you can go to the Zoom panel and type in your questions, and we're going to be addressing right now. It's called the Zoom panel or the Zoom chat. So there are questions here. So the question is from Julian. I just saw the map in the associated sales data. Is it possible to include relevant external data, example, weather forecast, in case my business is dependent on the climate? Thanks, Julian. Very good question. Absolutely. With right now, to bring data from other data sources like weather information, we have to use DataSelf Enterprise. And we actually have another client that we're working on this project right now. There are weather information available from free websites that is kind of, not that great to insert into the dashboards. But there are also paid weather service websites that are usually inexpensive, that if you go to that subscription, you can embed these widgets inside of DataSelf and make that available, that information really, really easily. And actually, let me make a correction. If the data comes straight from a website, we do not need to pass through the data warehouse. The DataSelf Lite will also work. So Julian, probably we have to have this conversation offline, because in your case, bringing weather information, if it's just widgets inside of the portal that is not connected behind the scenes with the data per se, then maybe the DataSelf Lite will do that job. Thanks for your question. More questions. Another question here from Peter. Peter's asking if DataSelf also works with other accounting systems besides Acumatica. Peter, thanks for your question. Let me just get out of my screen here and go back to Chrome and go to DataSelf. So this is dataself.com. And on the home page, you can see at the bottom which products that we have out-of-the-box solutions for. So if you work with any of these systems, out-of-the-box, DataSelf has a lot of things to add. If you have other systems, can DataSelf work with it? Absolutely. Our platform is open to import data from any data source. The only difference is these, we already have something ready to go quickly and easily. We don't have to map things from scratch. There's a lot of things pre-mapped. Other data sources, typically there's more service involved that we can do it. Maybe your VAR can do it, or maybe we can train you the end user's IT team to learn how to customize the backend, the data warehousing. You know, a SQL Server platform, so it's not you know, not a black box. You do not need to be a rocket science to customize DataSelf. It's pretty industry standard, enterprise level BI platform. Peter, thanks for your question. More questions. You know, again, be sure to type in your questions in the Zoom panel. We have a question here from Margaret. Margaret is asking about, let me just scroll here. How to add user-defined fields from the Acumatica system. Margaret, very good question. So back to, let me switch to this page here. So if you move forward with DataSelf Lite, the way we pull data from Acumatica is through the DataSelf generic inquiries in Acumatica. This is pretty vanilla. They're just generic inquiries like the other ones that you have. They will be uploaded to your Acumatica site. In out of the box, everything that I showed you today that was DataSelf Lite will be populated in a few hours. Now, if you need to add or customize those DataSelf GIs, absolutely you can. If you know how to customize GIs, you go to those GIs, you can add more fields, you can add more tables or objects into the GI. Whatever you do in those DataSelf GIs, you modify them, you send a request for DataSelf Lite to be remapped, and then it will automatically remap whatever has been changed in the GIs, bring all data all over again, and in a few hours, typically, or next day, when you go to DataSelf Lite, whatever you have changed in the GIs will be available for you to drag and drop into your reports. So customizing the data feed to DataSelf Lite, it's that simple. You customize GIs and you work on the user interface, and it works that beautifully. If you work with DataSelf Enterprise that has the full-fledged data warehouse, then there's more steps. There's more technical things required, but it's not that complicated. It's really usually a matter of, you know, minutes for someone that knows how to bring additional fields to DataSelf Enterprise. Margaret, thanks for your question. More questions. I'm going to answer one more question because we're running out of time here. We have a bunch of questions. All right, let me see here. So question from Nicole. It's a long question. Let me just read it and translate what the question is about. Okay, so Nicole is saying that they have Acumatica with a lot of data, and she's concerned that, you know, reports out of Acumatica usually slows it down. Will DataSelf slow down their Acumatica? Nicole, wonderful question. Actually, many of the clients we have across all systems, not only Acumatica, you know, with Sage and Dynamics and whatnot, they come to us with that pain. You know, currently reporting, it's very slow, either because it takes a long time to run the report or because when they run reports, it slows down their source system, their ERP system, their whatever the system is. You know, yes, reports with large data sets or reports that link too many tables together tend to run slowly and tend to slow down data sources. We have some horrible stories, some clients that when they came to us, reports were taking several hours to run, not in Acumatica, but in other systems. So the first good news is, yes, DataSelf is highly optimized for performance, and pretty much we guarantee that it will not affect the performance of your Acumatica. We have worked really hard with Acumatica through the Acumatica certification process to make a extraction process from Acumatica that is very little intrusive. When we pull data from Acumatica, the first time we pull data from your Acumatica site, we'll pull all data required. So it might take hours. It might take a lot of hours, actually. Yes, it might be slow. We might have to run over the weekends when you're not in busy hours, but still the extraction is very light. We're doing little bursts. Pull data for 2 seconds, wait 3 seconds. Pull a little bit more data for 2 seconds, wait 3 seconds. It's very light. If you go to your Acumatica server, if you have access to your Acumatica server and you look at the CPU usage when DataSelf is hitting it, if you have more than 4 CPU cores, more than 4 CPU threads, you're probably not going to even notice that anything is hitting it. It's very light. It's very low intrusive extraction. But there's better news. Once we pull the data into the DataSelf framework after the first refresh, every time we do refresh on an ongoing basis, we only bring the deltas. So even if you have 50 million records in your largest table, when we refresh it every time, we only bring what has changed since last refresh, meaning only new records or modified records. All clients we have using this refresh, the refresh process that is recurring takes usually a couple of minutes, and you cannot even tell what's going on in the Acumatica. So no, if you're having issues with your Acumatica system from performance when it comes to reporting, I can guarantee you DataSelf will eliminate your performance issues, both sides. It will not affect your Acumatica. It will run reports really quickly. We actually guarantee that DataSelf reports run under 10 seconds, no matter how much data you have. 99% of the time, 99.9% of the time, that's true. We pretty much all reports in DataSelf will run in a few seconds, usually under 10 seconds. This is really an engine that is being designed for large companies, Fortune 2000 companies, and we make it just simple and affordable for you to take advantage of it. Folks, we're running out of time. If you have more questions, and I see there's a few more questions, we'll address on a one-on-one basis. If you want to contact me, you have here my email and my phone number. This webinar is being recorded and we'll make it available. So if you want to review it, if you want to share with other people, feel free. We'll be on YouTube. Really, thank you for your time. Again, we have the promotion through December 31st. If you want to take advantage, please contact us. Thank you for joining us and have a great day.